Hello and welcome back to the Wrestling Bubble. Today we're going to talk about the latest news in wrestling, and we're going to start off by talking about Willow Nightingale. She has re-signed with AEW for a multi-year deal with her new contract. What's the latest?
She should never resign. I know basically one of her comments, she resigned because she loves and enjoy wrestling with AEW. But right now, since she's been in AEW, in my opinion, she really hasn't been doing anything. It's just they put her with this group, then she leaves this group to go with this group. It's like then she goes from AEW to New Japan. It's like she's just been everywhere. It's like there's really haven't been any like build for Willow, and it's like all these females they're bringing. She's just taking L's for them.
Okay, so far it's like they haven't really pushed her as an individual. She's
No,
either usually in a group or a tag team. She had like one memorable feud, but it was short,
yeah, with
and it was
Mercedes Monet, right? Oh
well,
yeah, then
okay. Well, that was a short feud just to get the belt on Mercedes
right.
and Chris Statlander.
That's pretty much it. And
They
then
ended that as soon as it was really starting.
yeah, and then
Like,
they
cause Chris
try to
was a heel, and then she
exactly
switched back to
the baby
babyface,
face.
and there was no reason for it. And she was with Stokely Hathaway. He just kind of disappeared. Only recently, like he re- appeared on TV, and now he's like with FTR.
He's another one that's just been passed around. But like I said, we'll see what happens. They didn't really say how long she's there for, but hopefully she's there for not probably no more than 3 years. I'm hoping 2 years to get some more reps in and more like exposure. And she actually goes somewhere better and actually use her talent somewhere else instead of just wasting at AEW, just like what's his name, Daniel Garcia did.
Oh, Danny fumbled.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh,
he
they
he
should have never resigned.
he should definitely never resign. But
I think he's
and
been on Collision like the majority of time, like since All In,
remember, he did have the what TBS belt
the
for a little bit.
TNT,
The
but
TNT, yeah.
which Adam Cole now has, but
What's he doing with it? Nothing.
yeah, he's also another one that's like relegated to Collision. Nobody watches Collision.
Not really. No matter
So
who they put on there, people's really not watching it.
yeah, but going back to Willow Nightingale, um, I'm hoping that her contract is like 2 years max, and I say that because Willow has like so much potential,
Yeah.
right? And I get like they love in ring work, like long matches and like showcasing the fact that they can do all these different moves and spots, etc. But you have to think about, okay, do you only want to like put your body through all of that, or do you want to get something out of this business while you still can? Because you're not going to be able to do it forever. You know what I mean? It's like all of this takes a toll on your body, on your mental, especially
Hmm.
people like they're gone, but like you have Ricky Starks, now Ricky Saints, Ray Phoenix, Penta, Wardlow, like you know what I mean? Like all these wrestlers, you got Mariah May still there. Like they were all in Guantanamo Bay,
Yeah. Right.
like where they're off TV and they're not being used. They're just like sitting at home or whatever, just collecting a check. And that seems to be okay with TK, but eventually it's like you either gonna have to let them go or actually do something with them. And it's like anybody that's signing that company has the potential for that to happen to them, so you pretty much have to just stay like within Tony's good graces in order to appear on TV and actually appear on TV in something meaningful. So hopefully Willow, like right now she's a part of this angle with the Death Riders, and she's like kind of on the side with the ops with Samoa
Yeah.
Joe,
And
Powerhouse
Swerve.
Hobbs, Swerve, uh Shabata. I think he's another one that's in it,
I
right?
believe so.
Yeah.
But I think he's so called out of injury.
Uh
But
Didn't even notice.
But the thing is, once that is over, what they're gonna do with her then? You know,
I think she's gonna do something with Chris Statlander again. Probably team up. So there you go, another tag team.
because we need to see that again.
But I really don't see like what direction she goes after this. I would love to see her mix it up with I'd just love to see her like the top of the card for the women's division. Just like stay at the top of the card in the women's division. You keep Chris Statlander there. You keep Jamie Hayter there. Mercedes, obviously. Tony Storm. Who else? Well, now
Megan
you got
Bayne.
like Mina Shirakawa.
Yeah, Mina
So
signed.
I mean, Mina's a draw. Like, believe it or not, Mina has a ton of fans. Anytime she's on TV, the segment usually does good. Mina is very charismatic, whatever. So
Mhm.
like that's another one that you keep kind of at the top of the women's division. I would prefer that Tony reaches I don't it's like okay, you got Hikaru Shida, who I believe is in Ring of Honor, but she's like your 3-time women's champion or something like that.
Oh my goodness.
What? And she carried the women's division through COVID.
Yes.
Okay. And she's very talented. Okay. But she's on Ring of Honor. What? At least she's not in Guantanamo Bay, right? But then
We
you
have
got
also
Athena. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. That's another one that really should be on Dynamite. Okay. If anything, all right. If you're not gonna use somebody like say Layla Gray
Right.
on Dynamite or Collision, then you put her in Ring of Honor. You let like some of these people like Anna Jay, Penelope Ford, like some of those women, either they're gonna be like your mid card or lower mid card on Dynamite or Collision, whatever, or you put them in Ring of Honor as a developmental brand. You know what I mean? And like you let them get their reps through there because they don't do house shows. So that's probably the only way they're
I would
really
even
gonna
say put Sky Blue in Ring of Honor.
Yeah, I mean Sky Blue. At this point, Sky Blue is like a solid mid card.
Yeah.
You know, on Dynamite with main roster, right? But like Sky Blue, she's put in a lot of work, so she could sit comfortably in mid card, right? I don't see her winning like a women's world championship
No.
yet. She's young, she's got time. She just came back from injury, so she can start to get her reps in, whatever. But like there's like a set of women that really could like stay on the top of the card, and I named a few. Hikaru Shida needs to be right back in that spot.
Well, I don't know if that's ever going to happen.
I know.
At this point, she's watered down. The time she comes back, it's like the fans even going to remember her.
They'll remember her. It's just she just won't have the same appeal or whatever, because you know he always cools people off, and then eventually, like when somebody needs a tune-up match, a champion, maybe even Mercedes, and she just needs to get a dub on TV, they'll bring out Hikaru Shida, give her a good match, and then thanks for showing up. Here's an L. Go back to Ring of Honor.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't understand that. I'm pretty sure with Hikaru Shida, it was like a language barrier, like where her English wasn't good enough. So it's like he just figured I don't know what to do with that. So Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
But I would honestly, it's like if he don't want Hikaru Shida on Dynamite, put her on Collision. Like have her as a main staple of Collision.
Well, the thing is with Collision, like you said, no one's really watching it.
True, but nobody's watching Ring of Honor. I mean, at least Collision's on TV.
Yeah, true.
And then, you know, if they can put together a solid roster just for Collision, right? Like we know if we watch Collision, we're gonna see Hikaru Shida, we're gonna see all these other women or men, whatever, like that are mainstays of Collision, right? Kind of like Raw and SmackDown. So you have Shida as one of those like top tier women on that brand, right? And you get her off of Ring of Honor. You have Athena either on Dynamite or Collision, Dynamite preferably, but if she's got to be on Collision, like you put people in these different places to like really bring the like you gotta resuscitate Collision, okay? Like you gotta put people that matter in these different positions to get the show booming again, like make it more interesting because like he likes to put these random people in these random matches that mean nothing. So it's like, why should I care if there's no story behind any of this stuff? Like I could just catch a highlight, you know what I mean,
Right.
and call it a day. Like I didn't have to waste 2 hours watching Collision. And the same can be said with Dynamite, like when there's throwaway episodes or whatever, you know. But getting way off track. So that was the news of Willow Nightingale. She has re-signed with AEW for a multi-year deal. Hopefully, look, she getting her money and life is good, etc. But like, soon as you can, you need to get up out of there. Unless things change and like, you know, she's used well, etc. Other than that, it's just I don't see it.
Well, speaking of being used, while we're still on AEW, you know MJF is officially part of her syndicate.
Yeah. Well,
Is he?
not so fast.
Yeah,
Because he still got to sign a contract.
which is
So,
next week.
yeah.
And rumors is Cedric Alexander, you know, his 90 days is up. He got released in February, so I'm pretty sure he's debuting next week.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure MJF is about to get beat down next week.
Probably got screwed.
Yeah. Renee pretty much put that Easter egg out there. The backstage segment
Well, I
that
know
she had with
she
MJF.
was saying, what if they say no? But they
Right.
said yes. But part of me feel like, what if they say yes for Cedric, thinking MJF thinking he's in it?
I don't know,
'Cause
but
Bobby was still smiling like he's up to something.
well, you see, he didn't hesitate to throw MJ off of him whenever he was celebrating that he got
Right.
accepted or whatever. But my whole thing is he still got to sign the contract. Will they
Exactly.
let him sign the contract? What's on the contract? I know his attorney, Mark Sterling,
Well, you know,
was supposed
and
to go over the
yeah,
contract.
and MVP didn't like that too
I
much.
feel like MJF, if anything, he's probably going to add or he's going to take away some. He's going to do something with that contract. He's going to say, I got a new contract. Like, he might
Exactly.
end up doing something like that. It's MJF. He's our scumbag.
But I'm actually looking forward to that segment with MJF signing the contract. I hope it's some type of storyline drama of Cedric returning, because I know he did made a statement that he would like to be at AEW, but just to finish the storyline that they started in WWE with the Hurt Syndicate, because he said he wants to finish what they started. So I can see that happening next week, and MJF better have some type of evil scheme on top up his hand in case they do turn on him.
Yeah. MJF is usually 2 steps ahead. So
I hope so. Because
yeah.
remember, MVP kind of dropped some Easter eggs too, saying MJF is finally going to get what he deserves.
Right.
Bobby Lashley, yes, he gave the thumbs up, but he was cheesing even after he gave the thumbs up. Like he's up to something. Like there's just something just seems off. Like why you got to do a contract signing next week? I know to draw like audience, but really, I think it's a debut.
Yeah, I see Cedric Alexander coming in, and honestly, I mean, this version of the Hurt Syndicate,
Mhm.
I actually like this version more than I like them in WWE.
Yeah.
Like purely because they're presented serious. Even though you got the MJF coming in clowning and being goofy and stuff, the group as a whole, their presentation, it's still serious. Like
What?
when when they had their matches, they
Yeah.
don't play around. They go in there, they dominate, they get the job done, get out of there.
The only thing I don't like about their matches, yes, they are serious. They need to make the matches quick. Y'all are a dominant tag team. 5 minutes tops, get out of there. I also didn't like the part where Shelton Benjamin had to go backstage to get MJF. That was a little too
Yeah, I didn't like that part.
goofy,
Like
but
I mean, they kind of, I guess they had to figure out how to get to, if Cedric is coming in, they kind of had to figure out, okay, how do we get to the point where we swerve the audience
right.
to make it seem as though MJF is gonna actually be in the group? Because like we thought it was supposed to be over with the thumbs up, right?
Mhm.
And he gave the thumbs up eventually.
Then they brought out a
And
contract.
right, and then he said, okay, so you sign a contract next week, right? If you knew it was gonna be a thumbs up,
Why
you
didn't
should
have
have
the
already
contract?
drafted a contract
Exactly.
so that we could just have it all knocked out this week. So
Guys, it's for
that's
Cedric.
yeah. So they just had to figure out how do we get to that point. And I think with Renee planting the Easter egg,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and then MJF just that's on his mind the entire night. Right at that point, he's like, okay, what if they don't accept me? They're gonna beat him down. Does
Exactly.
he real? Is
They
he
hurt
ready
people.
for a beat down? Yeah, exactly. So we got that. I didn't like, it's like I didn't like how Shelton had to go like find him in the back and he's hiding behind Tony Khan in gorilla position or whatever. But like, I mean, they found a way to try and connect the dots on
Mm-hmm.
why it's gonna make sense for the contract signing, and that's how we get Cedric Alexander. Now, I didn't really get to see Shelton Benjamin like in his younger days or whatever in
Mm.
WWE. Like I saw a couple highlights or clips or whatever. Like for example, when he did like a springboard jump
Yeah.
from the from the outside the apron inside, and then Shawn Michaels hit him with that super kick.
Yes.
Right. Like I saw stuff like that. Like I know I guess at one point he was teaming with, was it like a Kurt Angle faction or
Yeah.
something?
So I think that's when he did a few teams when he came back. He did with one with Chad Gable
Mm-hmm.
also, which was pretty decent. I thought they was actually gonna do something with him with that, but of course not. Um, I mean, honestly, Shelton is great even for his age in AEW. He's doing good.
He's much better in AEW.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's like the point I was making was when Cedric Alexander comes in. Now, I remember when this was like a King of the Ring tournament. This was like right before Vince turned Chad Gable into Shorty G.
Right.
And Cedric Alexander and Chad Gable were going at it. And it was like a really good match. And that was my first time really watching like a Cedric Alexander match. And I thought their chemistry was so good, etc. I know he ended up going against somebody else in that same tournament, and he looked good again. So I was like, who is this guy, Cedric Alexander?
Right.
But it's Vince, so ultimately he looked at Cedric as a jobber or not to really be pushed that much, and we see the difference in presentation of the Hurt Syndicate in AEW. So I'm thinking when Cedric Alexander gets there, hopefully they don't let him talk because man, he can.
Yeah, that's the
His
only.
voice
And
is
if he
annoying.
do talk less, very, very, very
Yeah,
less.
I mean his voice is like scratchy or screechy or whatever. Like
Yes,
he
that
always
high
sounds
pitch.
whiny.
Right.
Yeah, so keep him off the mic, but I think he's gonna do better in AEW because for one, they're gonna let him be himself. They're gonna let him wrestle
Mm-hmm.
more. Their presentation for the Hurt Syndicate has
It's
just
great.
been like it's been wonderful. So I think once he joins AEW, and we already know he will because he said it in interviews and whatnot.
most
So like
definitely.
he definitely wants to do this. So once he comes in, the Hurt Syndicate will be complete. We can move past this thumbs up, thumbs down contract signing or
Mhm.
whatever with MJF, and then from there, I think we get like a better storyline coming out of this with the Hurt Syndicate versus MJF because MJF is gonna need backup against the Hurt Syndicate because he's probably gonna get
Well, I
beat down and he's
know
gonna want revenge.
rumors is he's gonna team up with FTR, and honestly, I don't know exactly. I don't know how I feel about that because then when you have FTR, then you get Stokely, and MJF don't really need Stokely for a mouthpiece. Honestly, he don't even need FTR. You gonna put FTR against these two giants?
Mind you, the Pinnacle that was
Didn't-
short lived.
Thank God.
Looked good at first, but
Yeah.
it was short lived. And then you had the Devil storyline where
Mhm.
Stokely was involved, right? And anything Stokely's a part of it has the tendency to be goofy and
Very.
dry humor or whatever. Like I'm really hoping that it's just some new fresh faces that he, brings with them so that they can get some kind of a rub or whatever. So hopefully that's the case cuz FTR again? Oh my gosh.
Just keep him with Stokely and keep him moving.
They haven't been interesting since like 2022 or 2023, something like that.
I
like,
never found him interested, even when it was at WWE.
Like I liked I did start to like their matches, which made me start to pay attention more to like their promos and stuff
Mhm.
like that. The thing is they're just like one dimensional. You know, like usually their promos are usually about the same thing. My family, I do,
Right,
you know,
right.
or greatest tag team ever. You
But
know,
while we're on FTR, my thing is, when is Edge ever gonna come back and get revenge?
who is looking for him?
I mean, the commentators need him right now.
Who is looking for Adam Copeland?
For
Okay,
real.
I'm coping just fine without him.
I keep forgetting his name is Adam Copeland. Gosh, these
Yeah.
names. But switching gears from that to
We got Christian. Okay, that's enough. Oh, but we didn't even get Christian on Dynamite this week, right?
no.
Look, a moment of silence for our father.
But switching gears to
Oh.
WWE, rumors has it that Alexia Bliss is considering making a new faction. How do we feel about that? Because remember on SmackDown, she told Charlotte, "We need to talk, or let's talk, or chat, or whatever."
I'm interested in whatever Charlotte has to do with it. I'm not really interested in Alexa unless she drops this goth
Yeah, 'cause
Wyatt
that's what-
6
I'm
whatever's going on with that. Like, unless she drops all of that, I'm not even interested because like it's just gonna be whatever she's a part of is gonna be overbooked. It's gonna be like supernatural, like just take you way out of whatever she's like. Not interesting whatsoever.
Part of the rumor also people saying with this new faction she's talking about they might add Mariah May, but with Mariah May,
So this is gonna be like all blondes.
pretty much what I'm hearing. But I'm like,
and why
how?
why put look
Just
if
to
they
start off a
introduce Mariah
storyline,
May,
yeah.
because for one she could talk for herself.
Yeah,
She's got a look, she's got character, she's good. Like she really don't. If they put her in a faction, I hope it's long term for her just to turn on everybody in the faction.
yeah.
Cause like you can't trust Mariah May for nothing.
You
She's
can't trust
literally
Charlotte.
she's literally MJF without being goofy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what they're going because it's like, okay, why are we putting Charlotte has been in WWE for like forever, and I think the only time she was teaming up was she did the thing with Paige that didn't last long, and then she was fine on her own. Then she did something with Becky. Her and Becky used to be tag. It's like I get they're trying to build storylines. I mean, we'll just have to sit back to see how this goes with Alexa Bliss because I know people thought she was gonna be with the Wyatt Six, which I'm hoping she doesn't still.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see what happens because they're just all over the place with SmackDown stories at this point.
Yeah, I really don't have much to say about whatever Alexa Bliss is a part of. Just not interesting.
Speaking of haven't been part of for
And
a
she's
while.
like the size of Zelina Vega, right?
Maybe
Like they're kind of. She
maybe
might be like a
5'2".
little bit taller by
Yeah.
like 2 inches or something, right? But like, I
Whoa.
think we're so past those small, like, you know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
we're so past that now. You got like Bianca, you got Rhea, you got like big women, like you got these big legit looking women like Alexa Bliss. Like I think we're so past that at
And
this
not only
point.
got big
That's why
women, we got
Becky Lynch.
stars.
Can you imagine Becky Lynch going against Rhea?
She did last year.
And what happened?
She lost. Like
Okay.
she's supposed to.
Should have been dominated, but I'm sure it was like 50-50 up until
Yeah,
like
of
the
course.
last 2 minutes of the match. But I mean, look at Becky, okay? Look at Rhea. Looks like she
Mhm.
lives in the gym. Becky looks like she's about to go in the kitchen and whip something up.
Yep.
I mean,
Not
I'm just
this-
like I don't mean it to say like, you know, a woman's place is in the kitchen, but what I'm saying is like it's not believable. So
Mhm.
like when you got somebody like Alexa Bliss, who you gonna put her up against? She's got to go against the Zelina Vegas, the Lyra. Like you could believe her against
She gonna
Lyra
have to stay
Valkyria.
right
but
now.
like,
I guess she was women's world champ for a while, but like you said, we got bigger stars. We got don't forget Stephanie Valkyria now.
exactly.
I would throw Julie in there, even though she's getting there.
She's brand new on the
Yeah.
main roster, and like a lot of people on the main roster don't watch NXT, so or New Japan or Stardom, wherever she
well, I
came
think it
from.
depends because when Stephanie Valkyria not in the main roster yet, she got a decent pop.
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
hey, cream rises to the top, like Macho Man said. Oh yeah, man. But no, like you're gonna like when somebody's popping, you're gonna find out.
Yeah.
Like cream rises to the top. Like you're gonna like when somebody is popular or goes viral or that's making waves, people tend to find out who's making all this, like who am I supposed to be paying attention to right now? Like who got the who currently has the juice in WWE, no matter if it's NXT, SmackDown, Raw. So yeah, people found out about Stephanie real quick. They're
Mm-hmm.
like, yo, this woman, like, she's legit, she's great, like she's got a look, she's got the entrance music, she got the blah 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 blah. You know what I mean?
Maybe
So
but I know soon she's about to debut. I believe they're gonna put her on Raw also. Hopefully, not SmackDown.
Julia, yeah, I
Oh
mean
no, Stephanie.
Stephanie. Yeah, I that's what I'm saying. All right, she's definitely gonna be on Raw because like she's been doing stuff on Raw this whole time. Like
Mm-hmm.
her, Roxanne, Julia, like so it wouldn't make any sense to go on SmackDown. Plus SmackDown is like it seems like SmackDown like now is like more in-ring work and less big drawn out promos and whatever cuz even though they're 3 hours, it's like you still get way more character work and whatnot on Raw. And I don't know
Well,
how that is considering Raw's like usually about 2 hours
now I believe
or
the
two
end
and a
of
half
this
hours,
month
excuse
or
me.
end of next month they're gonna switch SmackDown back to 2 hours.
Yeah, and
Thank
it'll still
goodness.
be lame
Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
because until the booking is better, I don't care how much time they got. They probably knock it out of the park with 1 hour.
Well, we'll see. But speaking of hopefully getting better, we have the whole to introduce Sami Zayn and CM Punk teaming up for Saturday night main event against Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker. At first, I liked the new faction, Seth Rollins and Braun, but now it's like they're making them look weak, in my opinion. Braun has been watered down. I thought they was trying to make him a champion, but I'm seeing Seth going to the belt.
Yeah, like for me, it never made sense for Braun to really be a part of any of this unless it's like end game is for him to walk away with Paul Heyman when it's all
Mm,
said and done. That's
like
the only thing that really makes sense. Cause like remember not this past Raw, but like 2 weeks ago, where Paul Heyman was in the back and he was like he was pretty much just kind of counseling Braun Breaker,
yeah,
kind of explaining them the ways of like what we're doing and like how to stay like 2 steps ahead of your opponents and things like that. He's like really kind of guiding Braun Breaker. That's why I'm saying like at the end of the day, I think you have Braun Breaker become a Paul Heyman guy because like Braun doesn't really need Seth, and
yeah,
Seth is trying to be like a mentor
to Braun.
because he's like he's supposed to be like an OG in the WWE, and his
Hmm.
whole thing was like he's gonna save this company or whatever and change it, after when he was talking about that match at WrestleMania, is like
Hmm.
fighting for the future. Braun Breaker is the future of the WWE.
Yeah, true.
So,
Because while we're talking about future, Roman is pretty much like done with WWE, is what I'm hearing.
well, his contract should be done in what 2026, right?
Yeah,
Officially. So, I mean,
and
look, I don't blame him. He had like, how's he gonna top the Tribal Chief storyline with the Bloodline?
yeah,
What's like? How's he gonna top that? Because for one, it wasn't Triple H's story. It wasn't his idea for the Bloodline. It was Vince McMahon's idea for the Bloodline, and the whole Tribal Chief and all that. Paul Heyman. I mean, that was him as far as like storyline and the character development and all that kind of stuff. That's why you always saw Paul Heyman way more than you saw Roman Reigns. And then, of course, as a result of like the whole Bloodline faction, you got Jey Uso. Whether you like his wrestling or whatever, or the fact that he yeets and
yeah.
all that stuff, he's a star now.
Hmm.
Okay, they also held those tag team titles for a long time, both Raw and SmackDown. You got Solo Sikoa came out of it, in a better position. He came from NXT, joined the main roster, went straight to the Bloodline with his family, and stayed at the top. I mean, I could see why Roman would leave. Like, they're like what was that? What was that promo where he was like, "There's no one left."
That is really
right?
no one left.
Like
Like
after the bloodline storyline, there's nothing left.
That's why we don't see him a lot. Like, the last time we saw him was like what, May 4th, May 14th, something like that, when he got ambushed from Seth Rollins' little goons.
Oh yeah.
But now, he's not coming back till June, and which is closer to Money in the Bank. So if someone is in Money in the Bank trying to get the briefcase, he might just interfere and cost them the briefcase for revenge. Because they're pretty much going to continue this storyline with Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, CM Punk, Roman Reigns, possibly Sam. It's gonna happen. But it's like they also need to. To me, it's starting to get stale because we're seeing it every week. And if this is going to SummerSlam, they're gonna have to take someone off TV for a while just to refresh everything. Because the more you see, it's like Rhea Ripley. I'm a Rhea Ripley fan, but the more we keep seeing her, the more it's like, okay, how many times am I gonna keep seeing you at this point? Like, all you doing is cutting a little promo here. She's finally starting to wrestle on TV, but we'll see what happens.
We shall see. What else we got?
We have the latest, one of the other news. I know rumors been with John Cena, he's doing his retirement tour. And a lot of people is saying that his last match might be against CM Punk after he's done with this Seth Rollins and everything. Personally, I hope it's Cody again. And this time, I know people want to see if Cena's going to turn babyface before he retires. I don't know if I want to see him turn babyface, or actually, I probably do, because I want to see Cody turn heel.
Who was John Cena's greatest rival?
I think, what did they say? CM Punk?
Was it?
Or was it Randy Orton?
I really don't remember anything between Punk and John Cena, but like I remember a bunch about Randy Orton and John Cena. Mind you, I wasn't even watching like weekly or nothing around that time, like 09 or whatever. Like that's kind of when I started peeking back in, looking at wrestling here and there, watching a lot of TNA at the time, AJ Styles and Austin Aries and, the Blueprint, Matt Morgan, etc. Like that's TNA was like really good around that time. But for me, I wouldn't want CM Punk to be John Cena's last match.
No, I want Cody.
I honestly I don't even want
Just
Cody.
so Cody can get that,
unless it's like to knock some sense into Cena and turn him babyface on his way out. Sure.
I don't know about that.
But what I'm saying is like, okay, they already had a lame match at WrestleMania,
that's why I want Cody
which had nothing to do with The Rock. Like that match was just terrible. Period.
So
okay,
Cody
if you
can get
you
his
could bring out
shine back,
but you can bring out The Rock and it would have still been terrible. Okay, like I would rather. Okay, who corrupted Cena?
Right now, it wasn't The Rock.
Who corrupted him? It was The Rock, right?
Right.
Okay, so it's only right that his last match be with The Rock. Even though I know right now fans are like, I don't want The Rock to be a part of nothing. Okay, well, The Rock's not a part of nothing, and it's boring right now, right? It's stale. So, yeah.
But
why was WrestleMania so good? Why was
opponent?
WrestleMania 40 so good? Because The Rock was involved in everything, okay? Leading up to WrestleMania 40, and we got what we got. So, I'm one of the people that sees Cena turning babyface on his way out. Because like we already learned that the heel turn just kind of came out of nowhere. The heel turn was supposed to be for Cody, not for John Cena.
That's why
they're just winging it.
You
right
see,
now.
Cody been out since WrestleMania,
right?
So this is the time. Hopefully that he's just reminiscing, like, okay, if I didn't, because he had a chance to hit Cena with the belt, and he didn't. So it's like now he's been gone for a while. He has time to rethink, regroup, whatever. Will you come back as a heel to get back everything that you lost? You lost a lot. The fans ain't cheering for you anymore. He done lost the belt. He done lost the momentum. He's not really in interviews like that. It's like he went from here to there. And then when you come back, are you really going to take the Rock's offer this time? Because like you said, Cena turning heel was never the plan.
Right.
So and then also,
that's why none of it made sense.
None of it. And remind you, what was it, his last match at St. Against Randy, the crowd was saying thank you, Cena, and Cena people were saying he was emotional about it. And then you have R-Truth, who still believes Cena's a good guy. So it's like, will R-Truth be the one to somewhat slowly change him back to this hero that he's so-called grew up looking at through? And then you have Cody being the good guy, but also he turning heel.
All right, if R-Truth was gonna influence any kind of like turn,
Mm-hmm.
right? I would want it to be, or I could picture it as John Cena just like beating R-Truth down so
Right.
bad, and R-Truth still holding out hope that his
Mm-hmm.
old icon or whatever, the person he looked up to, right, is still somewhere in there, and John Cena starts to like realize how much he has turned, right? Like how corrupted he has become, to where he starts showing a little bit of like remorse,
Mm-hmm.
right? And we already saw a little bit of it at Backlash, where he was
Yeah.
like, he looked conflicted right after his match with Randy Orton, and he's hearing the fans, and he's walking out slow, and you know, it's, you get what I'm like.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's good, like, although at that press conference or whatever, we got him doing an attitude adjustment to R-Truth through the table
That's hilarious.
to crickets, because like they didn't even react. So
no,
it was
that's
like,
why
man,
that was just, he should never.
he was
did
probably
that.
like, why do we do this?
Exactly.
Oh, gosh. All right. Like hold up the little man in black thing and just kind of like, boop, like
erase it from your memory.
make sure everybody forgets it. But I see a scenario where, and what is it? It's rumored that he's probably gonna face R-Truth that Saturday night's main event.
That's just a match, just to have a match.
But if see, this is how you turn it into more than just a match. To have a match where, okay, right now, their only reason for having this match is because of what he did to R-Truth at Backlash, right? But we put a little bit more on it. Leading up to main event, they've gotta mention, you know, they gotta let Truth speak his truth.
Yeah.
Right? Like, he's gotta talk about the old John Cena and why he looks up to John Cena, etc. We need that sympathy. And we know R-Truth can get it, right? And then from there you get John Cena just being a hard ass, just like, you know, I told you already, you said too much. And if you keep talking, you know what happened at Backlash.
Well,
don't make me come in that. You know what I mean? Like, we get John Cena trying to just be hard-headed about the whole thing. Like, he knows better. You know, truth, stay in your place type of thing. And instead of Truth doing that, Truth is Truth. Like, Truth ain't gonna back down.
Because you know, Jimmy Uso also been trying to knock some sense into Truth, talking about, did you forget John Cena sucks? He has like a bad attitude. He's not the same person that you look up to and everything. And R-Truth is still looking at Jimmy like, yes, he is, because he's looking at probably like it's just a fade that he's going
like
through.
a phase, yeah.
So we'll see.
He probably thinks John Cena's just a little confused right now.
Yeah.
And I mean, to me, it's the only thing that would make sense if we were gonna change him back. It'd be something like that, and then from there, maybe R-Truth is the one to kind of like plant that in his head, and to where he really starts really considering it, right? And then you get like a CM Punk who doubles down on that with a reality check, like, you know, John, I always knew you were a dirtbag and blah blah blah, but you were loyal, blah blah blah, to this company, to those people in the back. You know, like, he really dropped some truth bombs, and it like, it's one more thing to really push John Cena closer to like considering turning babyface, right? So that's how you get the match with CM Punk. That's how you get those killer promos between Cena and Punk or whatever. For me, that would make anything he does with Punk way more interesting. And we know Punk is better on the mic when he's either complaining about something or he's just talking straight up trash to somebody or whatever. So, and there's got to be like some truth nuggets in there. That's when CM Punk is actually interesting or actually decent on the mic. But Cody, I don't even know how Cody would factor in. And at this point, who misses Cody? Like, it's not even noticeable, really, that he's gone. To be
Yeah,
honest,
yeah,
like, okay, what are we? So, what do you want to talk about?
yeah. Very not. That's why I said when he comes
Like,
back, he needs to go heel. The crowd. Remember back then, we want Crody. You don't hear that no more. They still saying thank you, Cena. They still cheering for
right?
Cena.
Like,
It's
remember
like,
when Roman lost, and the first thing they started doing was saying, "We want Roman."
yes.
Okay, Cody finished his story, and they still want Roman.
Well,
So John Cena turned heel, beats Cody. Thank you,
Cena,
Cena.
exactly. That's why it's like,
Yo,
why Cody forcing himself to stay babyface? The
that's what I'm
crowd
saying. Like,
give the lap. Normally, I don't like to give the crowd what they want, but honestly, he will be better off as a heel. Let's get Cody Homelander. Stop beating around the bush. Stop trying to hide behind being a babyface. Stop trying to please the fans, and let's see it happen.
well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see as usual because there's no indication that Cody's gonna do any of that. And the way they book nowadays in the WWE Triple H, I don't see that happening either. Cause like the only time we got like a real shock and awe, and if is it starting to feel like Mania season now,
Right.
is an idea that The Rock had.
Cody being heel.
No.
Oh.
Well, Cody being heel, but ultimately it was John Cena that ended up doing it. But that whole somebody needs to turn thing, that was The Rock's idea,
Right.
regardless. Okay? And you saw how Triple H jumped on it like, is it starting to feel like Mania season yet? Okay. That's him taking credit for that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I
Nope.
don't know. Like, if you had to choose, like, say, 2 or 3 more opponents for John Cena after R-Truth, because he's only got so many appearances left.
He's wrestling on SmackDown right now, right? He
Wrestling
can't
who?
like he only could wrestle people on SmackDown, right?
Honestly, I think John Cena will go wherever he wants.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, he put himself, what, in an elimination chamber?
That didn't even
So,
qualify.
you know, he's like, I'm going to do what's best for business, and what's best for business is me getting in that elimination chamber.
I honestly would like to
put in
see
that
John
belt.
Cena versus LA Knight. Granted, LA Knight might lose, but I feel like that will be a good a refresh for LA Knight to show that he is ready for the main event card, like the bigger belts instead of this mid card belts. I would say Drew, but not right now, because honestly, if Drew's gonna wrestle for the belt, I want him to win and get an actual title run that he deserves.
How do we get to a match with LA Knight and John Cena?
He beats up R-Truth, and LA Knight try to stop him.
Where's the connection there between LA Knight and
It's just that.
R-Truth?
Remember, LA Knight is he's a tweener, but he also always like to stop people from getting like teams, because every time someone gets beat up, LA Knight would be the first one out there to help. So it's like, why not? He probably is like, done with the United States belt. Why keep going for that? Let's go for the big belt. Let's get back into the main event scene. You're done with the mid carders.
Look, back in the day, let's just say if LA Knight was like a upper mid card guy back in the day, and when I say back in the day, I mean like when Stone Cold and all them was there, right?
Oop.
So, and this is like 02. This ain't like the later years when WCW and all them like was really a part of it, and everything just started looking different, feeling different, whatever. But like, if LA Knight was a upper mid or like a top guy right now, right? Then we would have already got him coming out. So you got your number 17, congratulations, right? But now you're looking at the mega star, and
That's
you know what I mean?
I
Like he
get
come
that.
out like back in the day, he would have already come out and called his shot. You know what I mean? Like, but they move so slow. Like, I don't see it happening because that's something that could inject some life into the product right now. Like back in the day, you would have different people coming out, multiple people wanting that same prize, right? That WWE championship. Not this one at a time. We got to fight 2 or 3 times, like over a span of like 4 weeks or whatever.
That's
like,
why I'm hoping
it's so
he's done with the
dragged out
United
now.
States belt, because like you lost in Backlash, move on.
Yeah, I don't. We'll see. Like, I don't see LA Knight being involved in any of that. Like,
Do you see
now for
Damien?
me, how we get to certain things, like why would LA Knight be involved? Honestly, for me, it don't have to make sense for him to just speak up and be like, I've sat back and watched you be an
Right,
asshole,
right.
blah blah blah, and I know there's some boys in the back that feel the same way, but they don't have the conads to come out here and say it to your face. But the megastar LA Knight, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
come out there and just like really go toe to toe. And this could be something that could really like help him rise to the
Well,
top.
yeah, because that's what I'm
Because
saying.
who
Like,
else
I
is he
want to
gonna
see,
cut promos with right now?
because I want
Like,
to see fresh faces. I don't want to see Randy versus John Cena again. I don't want to see CM Punk versus John Cena right now. I want to see some fresh faces.
only if we get that R-Truth angle with, and then followed by CM Punk. Like,
Right.
if we get that scenario,
Well,
then sure.
something, but
But
let's
but
make
I
it
don't want
fresh.
it to be his final, because
Right.
no. But I would love to see him interact with some of the newer talent.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Newer talent.
Yes,
Yes.
like LA Knight would have been great. Jacob Fatu would have been great, to be
But right
honest.
now he got the
Like,
United States belt.
right,
Yeah.
so that's how we keep him over there and we keep Cena over here,
Uh-huh.
right? Like, I would have loved for them to just take some chances and just throw people in there. Like, just really mix it up. Drew McIntyre, how come he ain't? Like, I mean, hell, he had a problem with Roman Reigns and the bloodline and all that. Like,
They stopped that
Cena,
storyline
like,
as soon as
yeah,
it
well,
started.
they changed his whole perspective apparently.
Because their main focus ever since Damian Priest is no longer the Judgment Day, he hasn't really get any type of crowd reaction as a baby face because he's what? Boring. Like, why are y'all forcing Damian Priest to be a baby face? Like, the crowd, even when he was going against Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania, they were barely cheering for Damian. It was Drew, Drew, Drew.
Yeah,
Like,
look, Damien had me kind of interested at one point in time. This is who was he? It was going against Gunther.
yeah,
That storyline
yeah,
with
yeah,
Gunther.
yeah.
Okay, when he first when he gave you some background
Of
on
him,
where
yeah.
he came from and stuff, and I was like, okay, cool. But then he started doing what Darby Allin does, is always reminding you about how he used to live on the streets and homeless or whatever. And
Yes.
it's like, bruh, come on. Look, you already got my attention by bringing it up the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Now I need some more. You ain't on the streets no more.
Exactly.
You in the you're basically like at the top of the top of the top of
They
the
call
wrestling
him
business.
Streets
Okay.
Rat. Now he's called the Punisher. I don't know. I don't even think he knows what he's trying to be. He went from the rock star.
I just think like you can do something with Damien. He's
Yeah,
a big
he
guy.
just
He's
gotta
got a
figure
good
it
voice
out.
and everything. He already has a look, whatever. Okay, like you can really do something with Damien Priest. I mean, look, they took something with Bad Bunny and it was very entertaining at the end of the day. Like the match was good, the story build up was good, etc. Right? You can do something with Damien. It's just they're not creative. You know what I mean? So he's gonna stay stale. He's gonna stay boring because like he only reacts to other wrestlers. He ain't coming out and just like making his statement like I'm coming out here putting everybody on notice, calling my
Mhm.
shot type of thing, right? That's somebody like LA Knight that's gonna come out and do something like that. Damien isn't even positioned to do something like that. You know what I mean? But like you can do something with these wrestlers, but like they gotta be creative. And they do these slow burns to get to wherever they're going to where it's like you lose interest on the way up.
And that's when they have to take the title off of them and then restart them again. But that pretty much conclude our wrestling news.
Well, that flew by.
But tonight we are going to be doing a WWE SmackDown review tonight. So hopefully SmackDown is not a snooze fest and we are able to stay up to see what new storyline they're going to add and what matches they're going to add to Saturday Night Main Event.
So far, are you looking forward to Saturday night's main event?
Not really.
Neither am I.
Yeah,
Honestly.
not really.
Neither
Not
am
really.
I. Like, neither am I. Like, we get what are we getting? Jay versus Gunther again, right?
No, Jay versus Logan Paul.
Okay, Jay versus
Yep.
Logan Paul.
which Logan's
We
pretty much
really
gonna
haven't.
lose.
What would we have like 1 week where they talk trash and then like nothing
Barely.
since?
Yeah, it's like a quick little, because if Logan Paul really was gonna talk on the mic against Jay, he would have cooked Jay.
That's
But
why it's like, okay, Logan Paul's losing
yeah, that's why I'm
because
not
Gunther
really
already came out and said like basically I want my rematch.
Yeah, and it's like,
So
dude,
we know
now
it's
you
gonna
want a
be
rematch?
Yeah. So
He should have got
he
the
already
rematch.
spoiled that. Like that was like too soon.
Right.
He should have said that the week of, like, leading up to Saturday night's main event, right? Because then it feels like, okay, well, Jay, you got to come out on top, buddy. Like,
I really wish it was Gunther versus Jay, because it's like, is Logan Paul ever going to be champion? Because I get they're trying to give Jay a couple like months in being a champion, but his title reign, in my opinion, is not doing anything. He's just the music, in my opinion. Like, he's not really good in the ring. His promos are okay. Take away the music, what do you got?
it's just him, Moose.
Exactly. But
Nah, like, if Gunther didn't say he wanted a rematch or whatever out of whoever wins this match,
right,
I would have preferred Logan Paul
of course.
win.
Because remember, Logan Paul and Gunther had a little face to face talk also in one of their previous pay-per-views and everything. But we're not seeing. I would like to see Logan Paul versus Gunther, but obviously that's not going to happen.
Well, then you have two heels, right? And
they don't know what to do with Gunther.
I don't want Gunther to be babyface, and I don't want Logan Paul to be
Gunther
babyface.
literally shook Pat McAfee's hand and then come out Monday talking trash to Jay.
Right.
Then Gunther goes from being a softie when the crowd cheers for him to remind. It's like, what are we doing? Y'all trying to make him a babyface? Are y'all trying to make him a full-time heel? Are you trying to make him a tweener? Like, does even Gunther knows what he wants to be? But we're not going to get too much into that. We'll see what happens on Monday with Raw, and also Saturday night main event next week. But tonight we are going to be doing a SmackDown review. Hopefully, like I said before, it's not a snooze fest. I know we can pretty sure have some Jade and Naomi, the ladies, Street Profits, probably Fraxion. So we'll see what happens tonight.
I guess that'll do it for this live stream.
Yes. So once again, thank you for tuning in for the Wrestling Bubble, and we'll see you tonight.
Like, subscribe, comment if you haven't already.
And let us know what your opinions are with the news that we shared